Let me leave myself a mental note. So, one argument that I have is that when white people came over here into this area and they took over, what they did was that they evicted people from their dwellings who were caretakers of those dwellings and the area around those dwellings. They evicted them, they slaughtered them, they murdered them. Then they said, this is my area. I own this. This is mine. They created legal systems around that thought process of this is mine now, right? Now, and the ones that they didn't kill, they said, here, you go live over there. We'll give you that little piece. That's mine, but we're going to give you that little piece because we got to put you somewhere. That's the mentality that they had. So now we're like 2021. People are talking about give us our land back, blah, blah, blah. Based off of your spirituality, your upbringing, you lived in a place, this place created you, or you came from the stars or wherever the fuck you came from, and you came over here a fucking caretaker of a living being that creates other things. So you're a worker for that living being. That living being should be exalted, not you as the caretaker. Because even if you didn't caretake it, it still would be living. But the only way that it would stop living is if you came up in there and fucking wasn't doing what you were supposed to do as a being that is occupying that space. So now we have 2021. People are like, I want my land back, this, and that. You lived there. You were a caretaker. You own nothing. It is not yours. It is a living, breathing being that can communicate all the way around itself. Okay? But because you want what you think is yours back, you're going to say, I want my land back. I want this back. So when I say that, I say, I feel as though the people came over to here and they kicked people out of their houses. That's wrong. They claim that this land is theirs. And people that were living there, obviously, when we're thinking in the occupied and ownership mentality, they're not looking at people, even the people that took the land, even the white people that took the land, they're looking at those Native Americans as people that own that land, and they stole it from them. They took it from them. Now it's theirs because they overpowered them. And then the Native Americans that are saying, oh, we want our land back, they're thinking in the mentality of the white man that they own that land. There has been slavery because supposedly God's claim that they gave a living being to whatever, the meek, because the meek shall inherit the earth, whatever stories that everybody came up with to be slave owners. Because if you think in that mentality that you own the earth, then you're no longer a caregiver. You're no longer a caretaker. You are a person that is hoarding a piece of land or a piece of a living being and saying, I own you. Now you work for me. When it's supposed to be, the earth is a living being and you are a fucking worker and a caretaker and you take care of the earth. She just let you stay there, okay? Because truth be told, if you wasn't there, when you wasn't there, the earth was just alive and well, doing their thing without you. You were able to come here only because you had a purpose, and your purpose was to caregive. You don't want to be a care. That's like saying, my parents, they're elderly. Now I got to take care of them. I own them. Oh no, when I own you, I can tell you whatever I want to tell you. You got to do whatever I say. Blah 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 blah. A caregiver though says, "Hey, I need you to take this medication. I need you to do this. I need you to do that." And it's more of a mentality of, I am helping you stay alive. You are letting me stay with you. This is your house, even if I'm a beneficiary or whatever. I'm helping you. Let me help you. So, or you need me to survive. When, if that was something that was put into place, it would mean that the survival of that earth would be dependent on those beings. The only reason it's dependent on those beings is because those beings are there. The earth shows every day that it doesn't need them there. And it wipes them out every day as a reminder that even with none of y'all, I was still good. Because they keep forgetting. They're like, a little slow sometimes. You keep forgetting. We made you. You're here now. If you live here, you're going to be doing stuff. And when you're doing your stuff, it's going to be messing up my vibe, my flow, my creation, my spread, right? It's going to be blocking my creation. And in order for us to be able to cohabitate together, you need to do this, this, and that. You need to be a caregiver. You don't want to be a caregiver. You want to act like you own me. What does it do? It opens up. It swallows them whole. It swallows buildings whole. It swallows cars whole. It takes whole towns down. Because they keep acting like they own it. Now, the excuse that I get from people who denounce the ownership practices and the atrocities that white people have committed against Native American peoples in that ownership way is, well, there were Sumerian kings that had whole entire, we were supposed to inherit the earth. We were supposed to rule over the earth. God gave us that. And you know what? There were Sumerian kings, and there were these kings that spent whole entire lives, and their people loved them, and blase, blase, blah. I'm not going to say blase, blase, but I'm going to give the details. They say that there are kings, and there were kings that owned the earth, parts of the earth, and they had subjects underneath them that loved them. Okay? And there was no problems until, and they lived long lives and they died until their family members took over. Obviously, that went on for a long time, and nobody's saying that that's false. The issue is that when you're a king, you claim that you own the land that you live on, okay? Your subjects, if you treat them right, they will love you. They will love you because you treat them right. They're still going to do what you tell them because you are a king and you're acting like they're your servants, like you own them. And I wouldn't even say, like servants. Like, I wouldn't even say there will be like slaves, because at the end of the day, they're not even servants at that point. They're slaves. They do what you tell them to do, because if not, they're going to die. So man, they're claiming, was king over people. Those people loved them, and the earth loved them too. If the earth loved them so much, why did their families lose power? Also, obviously, your subjects are going to love you if you treat them right. Your subjects are going to write on paper that you own this land, and as long as you treat them right, in exchange for you treating them right, they're going to say, hey, you own this land. When in reality, you cannot own, how can you own another living being? And I own AKC registered dogs, okay? I own them on paper. They come up in this damn house. they come up next to me and they try it, okay? They will try to own me. They will try to just be extra, knowing that I'm caretaking for them. And they're caretaking for me in certain ways, but they will try to act like they're not going to be, they're going to be, pushy and just invading my space and, just making me feel some type of way, getting my clothes dirty, making my face break out because they want to be sticking their fucking nose on me and shit, okay? To white man, I own them dogs. I could treat them dogs however. If I want to put them dogs down because they're too pushy, I could put them dogs down. I could kill them. To a spiritual perspective, a Native American perspective, a person that has some kind of understanding that we're caretakers of Mother Earth, and Mother Earth just so happens to have some humans on it, and those humans just so happen to make fucking dogs out of wild animals. I have to sit there and say, I have to respect those animals, but at the same time, they need to respect me as well. Because I'm caretaking for them, they're caretaking for me. And I'm not looking at them with the mentality that I own them. I'm looking at them like a mother would look at them. So the people that are in this earth, when Mother Earth made them, they claiming that they own their mama. They own their mama. Some of them that claim the origin stories that they came about the cave and everything, they acting like they own their mama. And the ones that didn't grow up here, they acting like they own somebody else's mama. Okay? To me, I'm totally against the white man acting like he owned everything. Because my brownness coming from slavery will not allow it. Then, top it off, I'm looking at the natives that expect to be getting their land back. I'm saying, you are trying to argue with somebody that stole your shit. And you looking at them who they don't give a fuck about what your origin story is, okay? They didn't give a fuck about that shit as soon as they stepped up in this bitch. Because they felt like they were sovereign and they were, their God said whatever. They didn't give a fuck about that. How you gonna be arguing with them to give you your shit back when they don't give a fuck about you? Number one. And number two, how you gonna be sitting there talking just like they talk? They looking at you like a clown. Because you're supposed to be one with the earth. What are you trying to sit there and claim what? You are an inhabitant, a caretaker. You cannot sit there and come from the perspective of this is my shit. It's not your shit. You live there. You're lucky your ass lived there. So the narrative has to change. And the excuses of, there was these kings. No. If anybody learned anything, we in 2021, when you are in a supposed position of power, people do whatever you tell them to do. So if you tell them this is mine and I own it, they're going to write it on paper or on tablet or whatever the fuck, rock, stone, fucking diamond, whatever the fuck they want. They'll embed it in DNA and say, we own them. Look, they own in our DNA right now. They claiming they own it. All you did was go out to give a DNA, to give your DNA and find out where you came from. Now, supposedly they claim they own you. Human beings, actual human beings. So if they're doing that, how are you going to sit there and argue against their trash ass behavior and then come back to them with the same trash ass behavior and think that they're going to be like, we respect that? They don't give a shit. They're looking at you like they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Their spirituality claims that they don't own shit. They're caretakers. So how can you sit there and act like you own anything? You own nothing. You occupied it. You occupied it like they're occupying your shit, right? I can't even say your shit. You occupied it like they occupied the place that you was occupying, okay? So that's how I look at it. Because at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. You're supposed to be caretaking. You're supposed to be looking at these plants like, man, listen, they're breathing just like me, okay? They communicate just like me. Matter of fact, they communicate more complexly than I do. I'm just here to make sure that my existence doesn't threaten theirs. White people didn't do that. They didn't say, oh, I'm just coming over. I'm just coming over to be a better administrator to make sure that my existence doesn't threaten yours all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. They didn't do that. They came over here talking about, oh, look at these people sitting here. Listen, get the fuck out. This is my shit now. Matter of fact, your shit that you sitting on is my shit. But matter of fact, you go over there and you stay over there. As long as you stay over there and you don't start no shit, won't be no shit. That's how they did. And now you in the courts trying to get your trying to get the place that you was sleeping at back, and they're looking at you like, why are you in this court trying to act like that was your shit in the first place? Because you didn't have nothing legally. Because legally they created legalities. Even if you want to go divinely legal, even if you go into divinely legal, even divinely they claiming that they were not, nowhere does it say that you own where your ass is staying at. They said that you was birthed out of where your ass is staying at, or you dropped on and dropped off in the place that your ass is staying at, but you're a fucking caretaker. And that's it. So how are you acting like that shit is yours? And it's not playing devil's advocate. It's going off of what shit makes sense to me. And either way, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get your house back. Doesn't mean you're not going to get your job back. Oh no, you should get your job back. You should get extra employees too, because their asses are supposed to be employees too. But you're not going to sit there and be looking at Mother Earth, who is giving you the oxygen that your ass breathes. You're not going to be the one that fucking popped your ass out of the motherfucking womb in this bitch. You're not going to be looking at Mother Earth talking about, oh, I own you. You, and if you do, you're going to be sitting there when her ass opens up. When she opens up and swallows your ass back whole, you're going to go, oh my God, oh, it's a revelation. Oh my God, oh, what the fuck, what do we do? Ah. That's how it's going to be. And that's how it is every time. Oh, pray to God, pray to God. Oh, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Because that's all you're going to have left is thoughts and prayers. Because you sure as fuck ain't owning shit. Sure as fuck.